Hello everyone. This is a different type of format I'm using. We'll have to see how it goes. A good friend asked me to do this video, and it's not the kind of video I usually do, but he's a dear friend, and so I'm going to do it. This individual presented, I guess, about 4 or 5 years ago. I was asked to look at his channel because he was using my information. And when he showed up, he said he was a 14-year-old boy that had been at this for a few years, which placed him at about 16 or 17. And he said he was a walk-in. And when I asked about him, I really only got one word: Mason. And so I didn't say anything because he was a 14 or 15-year-old boy. There was no images. All his videos were this style, crayon type images. He didn't have any images of himself. So the next time I was asked to call and say something about him was that he was telling people that the East and West Gate were together. And so I went to his page and I told him that was not true. And he politely told me to get off his page and not come back. So I didn't say anything else about the image, but the image was in multiple ways wrong. So, still thinking he was a young boy, I left it alone until recently. Now he's talking about King Yahshua and that he's with Trump's people, and Trump's people are going into pods and they get retrained on the starship, and it's all full of it. So I looked it up, and this is how he's presenting now. And by any means, this is not a 16-year-old boy. And any 8-year-old would by this time figure out they'd been hoodwinked. So he lied. So I went further and looked around, and I came across how he explained it in a soft disclosure, it seems, before he presented his face. So he's telling people that a walk-in could look like 60 years old and continue to age. That's not true. They never put a 14-year-old in a 60-year-old body. They just don't do it. Walk-ins are usually from the West. They kill the individual and steal the body. They want the identity. It's an identity theft method. So they want to retain the memory and the personality. That's the whole point of it. Over time, they change and become more negative as the walk-in gains more control. But that was his soft disclosure to explain why he will look so old, even though he's telling everybody he's 14, 15, 16 years old. So going a little bit further, I went to look for the images that he had prior to this that were all crayon. And apparently he's erased everything on his channel going back to 4 years. And apparently in between. So he never had images like this. They were all crayon images. The next thing we came up with, as I was going through his stuff, and I'm bringing it up because I'm aggravated about the subject, everybody on YouTube seems to be going through a thing where they're trying to erase what this object is. This object is called a keist. It is what they hold souls in that they captured Usually they have a wristband. And it's probably there, you just can't see it too well. The wristband captures a soul, and the keister holds it. And why they would do that is because this was the invader. This is how they were catching people and moving them in here. So he's going on and telling people, I guess he's found God, and he's given them a whole complete spiel that the keister was a purse to hold money. And apparently that's what they're trying to say it is. I was really disgusted when I heard some of the officials, we'll call them, on Egypt hieroglyphs saying they were calling it a man bag. It was really pretty disgusting. So apparently they want to erase the information. If you want to learn about the keister, you can go to Steve Quayle, and I think it was the book Genesis and Giants, and he gives the footnote sources of where he got the information from, because they're erasing it. They don't want you to know that souls can be captured. So in my opinion, this is a Mason. And Masons are part of the federal branch. And Lilith broke off the federal branch and sent them west. And this was during her transfer of power to Lee. Lee was the next pharaoh selected by the Vatican. They were going to move the Pharisees to Lee. And here are the blindly religious being sent west. And at that time, she did a coin with Queen Elizabeth on one side, and then the Set, the snake, the black cubes, and then this looks like a keister. It looks like the Chinese version. The Greek version was Bacchus. If you look up the images of Bacchus, he's got a pail or a can, and there's snakes coming out of it, and that was a keister. So I asked again, and I got a very definite no, that Judson White is not with Trump. He's not with any of Trump's people. Now, Trump's people go to the middle ground. Judson White is showing the West. This is not the middle ground. And not only that, it's not even real, because all of what he's showing is high up in the dome, and it just doesn't exist the way he says it does. Sirius was one of the main parent branches that they were ending. So anyone here from Sirius is adopted to a new branch, and they do not exist. Pleiades also lost most of their people. As far as stars, I meant. They lost the stars. Mars doesn't go there. Mars goes with Trump. He won Venus and Mars, cleaned up for their expansion into space. And the east and west gates are not together in that manner, the way he's saying. He also apparently told people that getting into heaven, or someone told people that getting into heaven was really hard, that they had higher criteria, and so not many people made it there. Well, that's not true either. The only criteria was that you not be evil. And he blew his chance. So that's where you go. As far as him claiming that King Yeshua is going to be there for 1,000 years reign, and that then there's going to be a war, and none of that is true. Jesus goes east. He's not in the west. And Trump's people are in the middle ground. He might show up because we have interaction with the middle ground. But we don't have interaction with the west. Not after this point. So I hope my friend appreciates this, because he was right. And he was always right. And I guess people are naive. Jetson's got like 50,000 followers now, subscribed. And he's leading them all west. So he is not with Trump. And it doesn't appear he made it to the middle ground either. So I hope that helps anyone asking questions over that channel. So have a good day, and I wish everyone well. We'll talk to you later.